Atomic Blonde stars Charlize Theron and James McAvoy. And Charlize Theron and James McAvoy must team up in Berlin to find a list that has the names of a bunch of agents, and if it gets into the wrong hands, we don't know what's gonna happen. Mayhem. And this takes place around the same time that the Berlin Wall was taken down, and this takes place in Berlin. And I was really excited to check this movie out because one, the trailers utilize great soundtrack and it looks electric and very stylish. And that's what this movie is. It's a lot of fun. At times it does feel a bit cliche in its storytelling and its twists and turns, but overall this is a very fun movie. One thing I was really impressed with is the action and how it was choreographed and how Charlize Theron handled those sequences. For a good half of the film, the action sequences to me weren't very impressive. It felt very typical with fast-paced editing, and you've kind of been there, done that. And it wasn't really into the third act with an action sequence in an apartment building that was white knuckle. It was gritty, it was breathtaking, it was handled so well. And that scene was very impressive and probably the best sequence of the whole entire movie. And it was on par with the nightclub scene in John Wick. Even though those action sequences previously weren't too impressive, they were adrenaline pumping because they utilized great music in here to amp up the scenes and add a lot of adrenaline to it. And this movie has a really great soundtrack. A lot of the songs are here and there. They aren't the same genre, and I'm okay with that. They're really fun and they actually add a lot to the scenes. If it's someone driving or whatever it is, they add a lot to the scene. And the action sequence that I really loved at the end had no music. You could hear the punches and people falling, and it really felt like you were there watching it as it unfolded. And I really liked the use of the music, and I also really liked the use of no music. This movie takes place in the late 80s in Berlin, and it's very neon looking, and it utilizes it so well, and it makes it and has such a great color palette. In her hotel room, it's like bright pink, and the bars are bright. Everything in here is like bright looking, but when you go out inside Berlin, it's kind of like dark and gloomy. But places that these people go to, it's neon looking, like it was done maybe by Nicholas Winding Refn, which I thought was terrific. So I really like the look of the film. The action sequences are really great, and Charlize Theron and James McAvoy did really great. James McAvoy seems to kind of play the same person over and over again, which I thought was okay. Charlize Theron did a great job in her action sequences. Everything was really well choreographed. Now, some of the storyline did feel a bit typical. I think this is based off a comic called The Coldest City, but it was started off like really simple. She has to go to Berlin to find this list, and she teams up with James McAvoy. It's kind of like a thriller at first, and then it turned into an espionage film. And there's so many names being thrown around, it does honestly get a bit confusing and hard to follow. So I really like the beginning, how it was straight to the point, very quickly paced, and easy to understand. But once they had more people involved, it kind of took away from that thrillerish sense of the movie. But what really held this film together, like the glue of this film, was the action sequences. They were really well done, especially the last third act action sequences, this long take, which I thought was very impressive. I thought the acting was really cool, and I really liked the look of the film. Now, there is humor in here. Personally, I did not find this movie to be funny, but the person next to me in the screening absolutely lost his mind. I just didn't find sequences to be too funny, but I could tell that they were aiming for it to be funny. I just didn't take it as humor. It's bloody as can be, and it's a good time. It's just what I wanted. It reminds me a lot of John Wick with Charlize Theron, so I can't complain about that. I'm gonna go ahead and give Atomic Blonde a B. So definitely check out Atomic Blonde if you like action movies, you're a fan of Charlize Theron, and you just think the trailer looks cool. If you think the trailer looks cool, you're going to enjoy this movie. I believe this comes out July 28th in theaters. I got an early screening with my good friend from Almost Sideways. I'm sure he'll be reviewing this as well. So go over to his channel, give him a like, tell him Just Watch the Movie sent you, and check out his review when he uploads it. You guys are the best as always. This is Justin Watches Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.